Thank you. We praise and thank God for that. Now, let me welcome each of us to this morning's lesson study or lesson discussion, of which our lesson this quarter is Exodus. We are in lesson 8, Covenant at Sinai. Covenant at Sinai. The first question that I may ask here and then answer is that what I was saying is that the first question that I will bring before you, and then I go ahead to answer it, is that first of all, we need to understand what the term covenant means. I know we've come across it in several times in our lives of study, but for the sake of reminding ourselves, for the sake of refreshing our thoughts, allow me to say this, that a covenant is a sacred binding agreement between two parties which privileges and responsibilities. And this is exactly what we are going to study here, that happened at Mount Sinai. That is the covenant at Mount Sinai. You remember when we started this lesson, we started by getting an understanding that God heard the cries of his children in bondage in Egypt. And then he took it upon himself through Moses in that he's leading them. Now they have entered in the wilderness. And in the wilderness here, God, whereas we are through the children of the Israelites. So among the issues that we are going to go through, or we are going to raise, that we are going to address in this morning's lesson study, is that what could have been, or what was the position of the Israelites to God? That is, what privileges were they to be accorded in light of the covenant established between them and God? Was their spiritual life to remain as it was during the time that they were in Egypt? How were they to prepare themselves? Because we are going to study that these people were, that is the Hebrews, were to prepare themselves in going to meet to God. What were they supposed to be? What preparations were they supposed to make? And how do these relate to you and me in preparing ourselves to going to meet with God, like a day like today, or every Sabbath, or every day of our lives? Does it have any correlation? Do we just wake up and go to God in any way that we feel is okay? Also, we are to learn, or we'll come across the giving of the Decalogue, or the Ten Commandments, as they are made reference to do. We are to explore some functions through, or which the Decalogue was, or performs, or why was it that it was given? Does the law have, that was given in Sinai, does it have any relevance, given that Jesus Christ came, he died for you and me? Did he displace or obturate or remove or do away with the law? Why was the law given? So those are among the issues that these panelists will explore and unravel, so that we may be able to come to an understanding that which God wants us to understand. Allow me therefore to invite Pastor Paul Chepkony to start us with the in-depth study of this lesson.
Thank you, Elder. Happy Sabbath. Can I have your lessons? Can I have your lessons? Put up this way. All right. I think most of us, we have these lessons, and I think we have read through the lessons, either hard copy or soft copy. Now, remember, this week, we are considering Covenant at Sinai. Covenant at Sinai. Thank you, Elder, for giving us that introduction. The key verse, let me read through the key verse again. And it's found in the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 4 to 6. Let us read keenly in our Bibles. And it says, "You have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I pour you on eagle's wings, and brought you to myself. Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, then you shall be a special treasure to me above all people. For all the earth is mine, and you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and holy nation." This passage has a lot of information about God, what he has intended to do for his people, what he has done for his people, what he's expecting from his people, and his plan, the whole plan for his people. Because the first statement says, "You have seen what I did to the Egyptians." God is introducing himself as historical God who has done something for us. Now he is introducing himself that it was by himself that the children of Israel were brought out of Egypt unto himself. Now, the main idea in the whole of this week's lesson, I found three things here. Number one, God led Israel to himself. According to this passage and the mood of the lesson this week, it is God who led in Israel to himself. Number two, what I found in this lesson this week, I'm giving the overview, so that as we discuss, we play around those statements. I found out that God is concerned about our relationship with him. He's so concerned about our relationship with him. That is the essence of the covenant at Sinai. Number three, but not the last one, God take the first step to save. Remember, children of Israel were in Egypt, and God took the first step to bring them out. They struggled through the desert. They are now at Sinai. God took the first step to save them. That is why he's establishing the covenant. Now, I want to open for discussion. Now, let us consider the details. What happened at Sinai? That is on the first day of the week when we were discussing at Mount Sinai. What really happened? Can someone say something in a statement? And probably I want to ask Madam here if you have a word on the first day, so that I can give a summary of it as we finalize. At Mount Sinai, someone can raise his hand or a hand. He can say something. What did you learn from the happenings at Mount Sinai on the first day? Yes, sir. Speak loud. Thank you very much. At Mount Sinai, thank you, Elder, God promised a covenant That is binding between God and people. Thank you very much. That is the everlasting covenant. Okay, someone else? Someone else? Madam, what do you say in a statement on the first day?